Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Workforce Water Cooler. I'm Leslie. Joining me is Brian, and we are thrilled because number one, we're not going to be doing much talking today. Why is that, Brian?
We have invited partners from throughout our region to share some success stories of clients that have had their lives transformed, and these are really heartfelt, sincere stories. This kind of work happens every day. We just got to pick a handful, but you're going to get to hear about those and hear about the amazing work that these partner organizations are doing to transform lives.
So, with no further ado, let's get into success stories from South Central Kentucky.
Okay, so we'll talk about success stories, and we have people that have submitted success stories. Thank you for doing so. And our first one we will feature will be Career Team, and Jasmine will be telling us about Scott.
Hey everyone. So I wanted to highlight Scott just because he was enrolled under our tornado funding and was truly impacted by the tornado. He had to relocate and live at the KOA until he was able to complete the training and get on his feet to get back into the workforce. He started off working at UPS seasonally. So once he completed the training, he was hired. Sky CTC was like that was the first time that they've had someone get hired on through UPS immediately after training. So they were excited about that as well. He took the job seasonally, so he was just working, not knowing if they would keep him after the season was over. He received a call and asked him if he wanted to stay on full time, but he would have to relocate again to Jefferson County. So he took the job and advised me that was probably the best thing that he's ever done. Like, the tornado to him, of course, impacted him. But it also blessed him. It gave him the opportunity to be able to get on his feet, to better provide for himself and his family. And he loves the job. He's actually, he reaches out to me frequently asking if I have anyone who's looking for a job, who's willing to relocate. So I actually have someone who is in the process of working with him to get on through UPS too. So.
Fantastic. What was the training that he went through?
He went to Sky CTC for the CDL training. He got his Class A CDL.
Okay. So he had gone through that after the tornado. So earlier this year. Okay. Wow. Well done. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's celebrate that.
Yes, very good.
God.
I want to point out on this one though, that relocating to the tornado took out his housing, and relocating to the KOA means he was homeless. Like, he was living in a campground after the tornado. This is during the winter months. And I think on Jasmine's thing, she said that this gentleman went from that to averaging out to about $52 an hour with his new role. So Jasmine deserves more credit for this. There's some details she was leaving out there.
Well, thank you.
Next, we have Amy coming from Kentucky Adult Education to tell us about Dylan.
All right, so Dylan is a huge success story. He endured a lot of hardships when he was younger. It all started when he turned 15. And he has given his testimony before, so I took some info from that, and I talked to him over the phone to make sure I remembered everything accurately. So he endured a lot of hardships starting at the age of 15, and it was just a toxic circle from there on out. And he did try some recovery centers, and he was in and out. And then finally, when he got into some legal issues, he had time to sit and think and ponder on how he can better his life. And that's when he decided he'd come to the realization that he wanted to do something better for himself and his family. And so he went to KCR, which is Kentucky Christian Recovery here in Butler County, who do an absolute awesome job. with the people that are there, and they partner with me. And so he went there, he stayed, he went through the program, he didn't leave, and now he works there. And so he helps other people there. And not only does he do that, Shannon and I spoke with him, and I don't know if Shannon remembers, this has been a little bit ago, but he wanted to go to barber school. And of course, we don't really have one, here in Butler County or close to Bowling Green, but there was one I think he decided to do in Evansville. So he is now currently enrolled in barber school while working at KCR, and he's doing great. And he started over. He has a lovely wife and a son, and they're doing wonderful. And it's stories and testimonies like these, and what Jasmine said, and whoever else is going to share their success stories today, that really, truly, I think you all will agree, makes us really, truly love our jobs, because helping others, I think, we have a purpose, and our purpose, is to help other people. And I really do think that these testimonies are something that not only helps them, but it helps us realize that what we do are good things.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Great job. All right.
And Amy, I'm hoping that Dylan, once he completes barber school, will come back to Butler County. Hopefully that's the case. That would be a true, fantastic circle there.
I hope so. He really likes it here, and it keeps him away from the toxic circle that he was involved in too, because it's a new environment for him.
Great. Okay, Miss Dana, who is here in person.
Should I hold it or leave it?
You can leave it, I think.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah. All right, tell us what you've got to share about Brennan.
Follow up with another adult education story that Amy. So Brennan came to us about a year ago, and his story is like a lot of the students that you get. He was couch surfing. He had dropped out of high school. Is it not working? Okay. He had dropped out of high school, couch surfing. Parents had kicked him out. Just a sad story. And we're always a little suspicious when a mother or a grandmother calls us to sign somebody up, because we just know that that's not going to last very long. And so his grandmother called, and she was letting him live with her because he had connected with a recruiter and he really wanted to join the Marines. And he's undiagnosed, but like I was talking to Leslie, probably ADHD. He had a court appearance while he was seeing us because of something that happened in high school. So he's pretty young, but he started working on it. And it was kind of funny because Brennan was one of those people at the time. HiSET was being given online and you could do it at home. So we had a room set up so they could test at the facility. And we could hear him in the room yelling at the computer, hitting the desk, talking back to the proctor. And every time we were cringing, like, oh no, he's going to get kicked off. It's going to be bad. And then every time he would come out and show us his scores, they were the highest scores we'd ever seen. And so he kept going, and he kept talking to his recruiter and everything. And his recruiter, I'm going to give him props too, because he really communicated with Brennan and kept giving him encouragement. And he was so happy. The last day that he passed his last test, he had his paper and he was practically skipping out the door because he was like, my recruiter said that all I have to do is show him the scores and I can get started. And he was ready to go. And of course, we're still, persistence and follow through is kind of an issue. So we were still like, he's got his high school diploma. Okay, good for Brennan. We didn't think anything about it. And then we had our banquet in November, and we were reaching out to all of our former students to get quotes and invite them to come eat with us. And, phone calls, emails, nothing would go through. And I asked my secretary, I said, well, will you just try to text him on your phone if you don't mind? We'll block him if it's a problem, but text him and see how he's doing. And he finally texted back and he said, oh, I'm sorry, I've been kind of out of the loop. I'm in Pensacola at flight school training. And so we're all like we were screaming, in the office, because that's a big follow through for one of our students. I mean, we expect them all to succeed, but it takes a while. And they usually leave, come back. And So we were just really excited for Brennan. And I said, I didn't have the second picture of him that wasn't shared with me. And one of our instructors is not there, but his picture was kind of like with his thumb up, kind of going we got that on the wall, and we love it every time we go by it. We're just like, so we're really excited for him. And we hope that when he finishes that we can follow through and know a little bit more about where he wants to go and what he's doing. So we're excited.
That is awesome.
All right. I like how you guys take these group pictures and everything with them too. So,
But we have a little
Great.
cake and we give them a gift, like a little gift card or whatever to Walmart or something, but we just try to celebrate with them.
Nice.
Invite their family in and things to celebrate.
And I
Yeah.
mean, just look at the picture. Look at his face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just beautiful.
Well, you're not supposed to have, I told Leslie, you're not supposed to have favorites. As a teacher, you're not. But from the moment Brennan walked in, we were all just like, oh my God, Brennan. You know, just stuff. I mean, you know, we weren't his classical teacher, so we could say that. We could be like, oh, we just love Brennan. So yeah, we're happy for him.
Fantastic. All right, let's see who we have up next. Who's my thing will advance? Okay, Miss Laura, tell us about Vicky.
I wanted to speak today regarding Vicky. She is an alumni of Commonwealth Coders. She graduated in May of this year, and she became an intern for the Workforce Board. And she looked into Commonwealth Coders training because she had been let go of her employment and was looking for something to do, an employment. And she went over to a career team and they talked about different options and enrolled her in Commonwealth Coders, which piqued her interest, and completed the class successfully. And again, she interned with the Workforce Board and created a short-term training directory for the board. And that was something that she was really interested in creating, because when she was out there looking for something to do once she was let go, was a short-term training, and she just kept browsing and looking on her phone. I believe she said she spent about 2 hours outside of the parking lot of her former employer trying to find something. So she was really dedicated to this, and she completed the page. And she is now working on the Kiwanis of Caverna Club nonprofit website, and she has done fantastic. She has been able to put her coding skills to use to have that website work and function and look exciting, where it's going to grab folks' interest to go and visit the short-term training page on the board and the Kiwanis of Caverna website as well. She's dedicated, she's smart, she's funny. I just can't say enough of what a go-getter she is. She has even started her own business in creating websites. She created an LLC and is going to be looking at 2 projects pending once her internship ends. So that's the success of learning something new and continuing to put that into use and get that hands-on experience. So I'm very proud of her. She's an awesome girl, and I see nothing but success for her in the future.
Wonderful.
Go Vicky!
Now, Laura, were you guys in the same cohort together?
No, she was in the one after me.
Okay, okay,
Yep, January through May.
okay. I was having her go earlier than she had. Okay. Great, great, great. All right. And now, oh, look at this. Miss Jasmine's up and she's in the batting order twice. Okay, so tell us about Alex.
Okay, I didn't know this one was on there. So this is Alex. Alex started inquiring about the CDL program with us back in November of last year. He was let go from his employment, was trying to get back into the workforce, but was going to go he was going to have knee surgery. So he was like, I want to do the CDL training, but I really have to have the surgery. And I was like, it's fine. Like, it'll still be here. Have, they have a cohort every month. So have your surgery, come back and see us. Like, we'll be fine. So I just so happened to be sitting at my desk one day, and we were doing the teleworks workshops where they would people could come in, interview, get hired on the spot. And I just so happened to see Alex walk out of the session, and I was like, Alex, what are you doing in there? And so he came over and talked to me and was thinking that, you know, it had been too long and he wasn't going to get to go to the training, but he was still interested. I reached out to the school at Sky CTC, and they did still have him on the list. So he was able to start, I think it was 2 weeks later. So he went to the training. He'd done the hazmat program, which was, this was the first cohort for the hazmat training. He got his hazmat endorsement, had a baby, all in the same week of completing the training. So he had a baby, completed the CDL training, and is now working at Key Oil in Franklin. So I'm very excited for him.
Great. Right.
I would just like to add because these are the things, and I think Amy said it, these are the types of stories that really encourage you to keep going and remind you that what you're doing is so important. I mean, these pictures, you can look at these faces and see, you know, this is somebody whose life has changed. And I think, you know, the people who have shared these stories, you know, Amy, Dana, Jasmine, Laura, this personal connection is so obvious. It is you all making a personal connection with your clients. And because of that, you are empowering them and encouraging them, and really do not ever discount how big a role you have in this process, because it's huge. And these are just a few success stories. Everyone here in this meeting, you have similar stories. You are doing the same kinds of things. And I just want to say thank you and keep it up, because there are very few jobs where you can say, I helped change somebody's life today. So hats off to all of you.
All right, let's just give everybody a round of applause here. That was a nice speech. So Leslie can write your speech for you if you ever need help. But yeah, I mean, for some of you guys, I'll add this might just be Tuesday, right? That this happens in the life of your program. But I know that it also becomes frustrating for all the other people that didn't follow through like Alex did, or a Brennan, or somebody that, like you said, Dana, they start and they stop. Or they just kind of act. I used to tell GED students, don't make it where we run into each other at Walmart and it's like, where you been? Like, I've been busy. Everybody's busy. Like, but it is, there's just people that just, you know, it's hard to maintain persistence. Sometimes they can't even envision their own success. So but it's that human factor and that motivation that you guys give that helps get them over the line. And some of you guys are in a role where you support staff, you know, to help make sure and encourage them, because they can have frustrating days where people don't show up. People didn't go show up for their test. People didn't show up for the appointment to enroll in a program. Somebody didn't return a paperwork or a form that they needed to. But we know there's plenty of these things that happen, and we want to share these stories. And then the other thing is, at the end of the year, I mean, many programs celebrate their year-end success, or you talk about it, but it seems like you only get a breath to really like pause, and then you're just like, all right, now the numbers are resetting and we got to go back and go get it for 2023. But this is sharing these stories and the way that we want to share it on social media and help you guys. Hopefully this will inspire future Alex's and Dylan's and things like that. So